Hi there, my name's Dr. Mark Waldron, and I'm part of the academic team delivering on a new MSc called Advanced Sports Performance Science. As part of that MSc, I'll be delivering a module called Advanced Performance Testing, Measurement and Reporting. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that module today. So as an overview of the module, the aim of the module is fourfold, and I've broken it down into these sections for you. The first is really to think about this concept of testing in the applied sports science environment, so a real world setting. And one of the first things that we'll try and aim to develop with students is the knowledge and skills and ability to perform tests and then interpret and communicate that information to people in a real world type setting. So we'll look at ways of disseminating that, and I'll talk about how that will be assessed later. As part of this, we'll of course at MSc level look to critically appraise some of the underpinning theories that are required to try and understand why you might perform certain laboratory and field-based tests with athletes. And eventually, we would hope that the students would be able to draw on some of their previous knowledge and develop this during the MSc in areas such as sports physiology and biomechanics. So as a module syllabus then, this is an example of how the weeks may go through the module. We'll start with principles of testing and looking at measurement error, so things like validity and reliability. And then throughout the module, students would focus more on the types of athletes they might be working with, so be it strength, sprint athletes, for example, or even intermittent and multiple sprint sports athletes. And we'll talk about the theory and the practice of how you might test these different athletes. After that, we'll talk about what you do with the data that you generate during those tests, and then incorporate that into report writing and feedback. So the module will be assessed in two ways. The first way it'll be assessed is via a practical testing and measurement error report, which is coursework 1, worth 50%. So here the students will use their own data that they'll generate in laboratory or field-based tests, and perform validity and reliability testing report. And coursework 2 will be much different. It'll be a timed data analysis of data that will be pre-generated for them. And this will be data that they'll have worked on the theory of during the module itself, and they'll get the chance to report that in a very real world manner. So on successful completion of this module, we would hope that students would be able to demonstrate a detailed knowledge of how to assess all components of athletic performance relevant to the types of athletes we've talked about. They possess the skill to be able to conduct these assessments. In the end, they should be able to evaluate whether this has been a good test or a bad test and what it's told the athlete, and possess the skills to interpret that and feedback to athletes, coaches, or their peers in a real world setting. So hopefully that's give you a good overview of what that module might look like as part of our new Masters in Advanced Sports Performance Science.